Welcome to Blood in the Snow Radio, where we give you the latest news and interviews with the best in Canadian genre cinema. Here are your hosts, Robert Bellamy and Festival Director Kelly Michael Stewart.
Hey, and Bits Radio is back on the air. I'm one of your hosts, Rob Bellamy.
And I'm Kelly Michael Stewart.
And we are sitting here today with the creator and director of Ominous. And the synopsis is, a DJ attempts to banish a demon from her airwaves, inadvertently exposing her entire audience to supernatural peril. So what I'll get you to do is introduce yourself and your role in the project.
I'm Susan Curran, and I produced it and created it with my partner,
George Mihalka, and I directed it and show ran it.
Excellent. Episodic TV is not new to you.
I've done a few, yeah.
Yes. What was it like being part? Because this is now considered a web series, isn't it? Is it different?
No. You know, I mean, the only difference, obviously, is scope. You know, I mean, your budgets are smaller, so therefore your scope's got to be a little smaller. And sometimes it's fun. You know, for me, it was going back to my roots in a way of how to use light and angles when you don't have money to make it look as good as you possibly can. So it was going back to what I used to call Stengel technology, you know. And so it was a challenge, and I just had a wonderful time, you know. But, I mean, some of that was because, well, I had a great producer, and I had very good talent in front of the camera. Sam and Veronica were amazing, and John was fabulous. May he rest in peace. He just passed away a few months ago, unfortunately, so he can't be here with us. But I'm sure he's drinking and smoking somewhere and watching it. So, and then a beautiful, very, very old dear friend of mine, Peter Bennison, who was the director of photography. First time we worked together was on Bloody Valentine. He was the second unit DOP.
Oh, nice.
So, and we've worked together all over the country and the world over the years. So it was a lot of fun finding him again. Oh, yeah. And Susan kind of brought me out of semi-retirement of enjoying my golf game. But and now, much to my chagrin, I've got the bug again.
we also got to work with Tony Burgess, who it was just a delight, and his words on the page made it better than it had any right to be.
Right. Well, that also helped. You know, I mean,
Yes.
we had the pleasure of working with Tony, whose dialogue is second to none. Mm-hmm. He's just such a creative force and so much fun to work with. It made life a lot easier than normally, when there was not one time that any actor would say, "Why am I saying this?" Mm. And that happens. You know, I mean, I've been directing for over 40 years, and it's very seldom that it hasn't happened to me, especially in television, where the actor will say, "Why would I say that?" Mm. So it was easy because, as every actor said, it was so easy to memorize. Right. There's a rhythm. There's an intelligence behind every word, and that it just makes it easy for an actor to be very natural and say those lines as their own.
It felt like natural conversation. Yeah. That was the beauty of it. It didn't feel like forced monologue.
Yeah.
You know, or plot points.
Yeah. And to give some context of Tony, obviously Pontypool, and he's been an alumni of our festival in Toronto After Dark for I don't know, probably 4 or 5 movies at least at this point.
Yeah,
like that, because,
the Forsyth brothers.
Forsyth,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he did some cool stuff there too.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so overall, it was wonderful to go back to doing things with a small crew where everyone is just pitching in to do everything. It brought me back to my early days, like I said, you know. So it was rejuvenating, and I realized why I liked making shit to begin with.
That's great.
Well, and it was really great, too, because we had a really young and eager crew, and they brought it full force. I'm so grateful to them for the talent and the time and the energy they brought. It was during the writer's strike, and so a lot of people weren't doing anything, and they were happy to be working. So they were present and happy and creative. It was really great. It was a fun time.
So we had some wonderful, and then a young, very talented young director, Jake Burgess, was also, he was our second camera operator and drone operator.
Right.
Yeah, one day we're thinking about things. He says, I have a drone. And we're like, could you bring it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now.
Overall, it just turned into this, kismet of everything worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ominous, it's actually Ominous is the series. RadioActive is the episode we're showing tonight.
Yes.
So the whole series Ominous is based on ghostly interventions of things that have happened in the Hamilton area.
Right.
So the first episode, Screaming Tunnel, is about the Screaming Tunnel.
Outside of Niagara.
Yes, thank you. And
I
it's
thought that
haunted
was
by
where
this
it was.
haunted by a young woman, and we just made it contemporary. So what happens today if
Right.
2 young people from today run into this ghost? The Lover's Lane, the second episode, my dear friend Sharon Matthews is in this. George had to kick me off set because she's a high school friend and I was giggling too much, so I got kicked off that day.
That was an interesting challenge, both on Susan and Tony's part, because it was a risky one where we had to play suicide for comedy.
I know, and it was so funny. Just
And we're all going to hell for that.
probably.
I mean, there's unfortunately a lot of. I'm hoping that there's no suicide victims who are haunting me or haunting people come after us for that one. But and of course, working with her was just such a pleasure also. So as Susan was saying, it's a series. It's sort of, and there's an umbilical cord, like almost an invisible umbilical cord between the three shows. That at the end of
Don't spoil.
the end of RadioActive reveals. I'm not going to spoil it. I never
Good job.
spoil.
Oh, he's the worst. And then RadioActive is actually about Hits FM, the radio station in St. Catharines. It's documented as being haunted, and it has this building itself has a great history. And if you Google Hits FM haunting, you'll hear the DJs talking, and then this crazy voice comes, and they freak out. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And they play it back, and they play it slow. So all 3 episodes are based on documented hauntings.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I love the structure. What I love about our Bits and Bytes program too is that it's such a catch-all of different, like, we'll show an episode or show a few more of it like that, or we'll. What I love about a series like that is that it both works as individual episodes, but also as you can watch it as a whole,
Right.
as its own movie, really.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, we've noticed that all the years we've done the web program for about 7 years, and sometimes it's neat to see the feature version of it, and then also see the individual episodes of it and how they all kind of tie together and everything. And
Yeah, we asked Tony. We said, can they be standalone episodes that can be woven together later? And so he did a really great job with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be the hard part for you, is figuring out which episode.
That was always hard. Yeah, it's because we don't have a lot of submissions for that category, but the hard part from the programming thing is what to play from, and that's usually the debates and stuff like that.
Well, it's
too.
a great lineup. We're excited for tonight.
Yeah. And you know what? I think RadioActive also has Samantha Walks in it, who is an up and coming.
She's here.
She's going to be here. Wonderful,
great.
Samantha.
No, I meant she's here in that she's done some amazing work.
Oh yeah, and she lives in Hamilton.
Okay.
And she's actually one of our dearest neighbors, a couple of houses down, and she's also starring in that Amazon series Cross.
Right.
So,
Okay, yes.
so her star is really rising, and
And we
by
lucked
watching
out.
RadioActive, you'll understand why.
And we lucked out with Sydney Toplift too from Screaming Tunnel. She ended up on Wayward, the Netflix series,
Yeah.
right after we were really lucky to get these people.
Yeah, that's a great series. I just watched that. Yeah, it's really good.
Your casting was dead on. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So, what was it like to put together a show like this?
It was difficult because the funds are so limited.
Yeah.
And I had to ask for a lot of favors, and that's difficult. I come from doing favors and come from the giving side of things mostly, so it was difficult to ask. But anybody that I did ask came with bells on and was very supportive.
Yeah.
So George promised them all 11-hour days. No overtime. We got the most amazing catering at this place, the Paradiso Winery, where we shot 2 of the episodes. Shout out to them in Niagara. Go if you can.
Oh, yes. Paradiso, the best wines, I would say the best Niagara wines available.
Well,
Red and white.
so good locations, good food, good people. It was a delight.
Nice.
And of course, it's airing on Bell 5.
Yep.
You work with them. They're great. I actually we did Bits TV with Bell 5 and done I've done like 3 series with them, and they're great to work with.
They are a great team.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul and Clint did our artwork for us, and just so supportive, and they want you to have fun. They Paul came to set and thoroughly enjoyed himself, and
John did too.
yeah, no, they were great.
Yeah, John
Really
Buffoni was another one.
highly
Wonderful.
recommend applying in your
Wonderful,
place.
supportive people. Just everything's possible with them.
Yeah.
As long as you understand the parameters of what you're dealing with, everything else is possible. Yeah.
And a shout out to Purple Dog, because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
could not have finished it
Right.
without them.
Yep.
That was one thing you're talking about, web series versus TV series. The deliverables are completely different as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
So you're thinking one thing, you're thinking TV because that's what everybody knows, and web, it's all squished. So your highs and your lows when when somebody's screaming. For web, it just kind of goes down the middle of the sound.
okay.
So you really have to be aware of what you're doing, and that was an awakening for us.
That was a serious awakening for us, because obviously, I went into post saying, well, it's 5.1.
Exactly.
No.
No.
And no. But the important thing is we do have it in 5.1, and I think we'll be listening to it in 5.1.
Yes, we're a 5.1 theater, so that's great.
tonight,
So you get to have the theatrical version.
Yeah.
Of it,
But
I love that, the theatrical version of my little web series.
yeah.
yeah. Well, it's funny, but you have to do that, But
Yeah.
my goal when we were doing it, and Susan's goal was to make it look like that it could hold the big screen. And having seen it on a big screen once before, I'm really, really confident that it really holds on the big screen. It reminds me of a TV, not a TV, a feature film. Was it Close Up or Close? Where it was all shot in close-ups.
I got nothing.
Child of Men. Who's the star of Child of Men?
Oh, Clive Owen?
Yeah, Clive Owen is in that, and some.
Oh,
You know the one I'm talking about now.
Closer.
Closer with
Closer.
Julia Roberts and
Closer.
Yes.
Damien Rice,
Yeah.
that opening
So
scene.
that was,
that song.
and that always struck me as a feature film that's basically in close-ups, and it worked beautifully. You never missed the fact that you didn't see their feet,
Yep.
and so that was sort of one of the aesthetics that I was trying to use in RadioActive, and kind of worked. I'm very happy about that.
No, it's a great episode. It's a good pick for screening.
Yeah.
And but everybody needs to watch all 3. I watched all 3. And
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you
Absolutely.
for having us, for showing this. It's so great to. Something I did is at Bits. Like, that's crazy to
So
me.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's so funny to listeners. I think we can say this on air. It's funny. It's funny how in the film industry, a lot of times the roles will change, but the people will stay the same. So our first encounters was I was like Fangoria, writer and stuff like that too, and I was doing my monthly film nights, and I met with you at Anchor Bay, and you were our first sponsor that we had, and you would help with. I think you gave me like Walking Dead T-shirts or something like that for one of it, and yeah, it was doing a whole bunch of things like that, and one of our earliest supporters, and so now here you are producing and writing and running Blood in the Snow, and so it's so funny to have you here on the show and being an alumni of our festival now. It's you never would have. We probably wouldn't have predicted it in that office that day, you know.
I didn't think this would happen. I mean, everybody always has good ideas, but this was something else altogether.
Yeah.
Anchor Bay, though, the good old days.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so fun.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show, and congratulations on Ominous.
Thank you.
I can't wait for the rest of the world to see it.
The world.
All right. Thank you.
Join us next time for Blood in the Snow Radio. Bits Radio is a production of Three Evil Cats Productions in association with the Blood in the Snow Canadian Film Festival. For more information and to listen to other episodes, visit bloodinthesnow.ca and tweet us at BitsFilmFest. Music by Jan Gorman, produced and edited by Kelly Michael Stewart. I am Eduardo Correa.